Okay guys, in this video, let me get everything set up. This video is the worksheet that I've posted for one-step equations. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to work through these problems. Let me zoom in. So you see them nice and big. Let me focus this, and then we're going to move through this pretty quick. Remember that the cool thing about being able to watch a video is you can always start or stop the video, okay, pause it if you need to, and then come back and then work through problems as you feel. But again, what I'm asking you to do, this particular video is on OneStep, and there are a total of, I want to say, there are 30 of these. So I'm going to do majority of these as I can, leave a couple of them for you guys to do, and all I'm asking is that you give yourself at least maybe 25 to 30 minutes every day, every other day that you practice. When you feel like you've gotten them completely correct 10 times in a row or 15 problems, if that's what you did, and you get them all right, then you're good. That means you've mastered it. Make sure you check yourself at the problems on the last 2 pages of the PDF that's in Teams. All right, so let's get started. So here, of course, what's happening to V? 8 is being added to it. So as soon as I see that plus sign and then this 8 is positive, I'm going to subtract 8 to both sides, okay? So now we have V is equal to, and if we do 26 minus 8, we should get 18. Let me focus that. There we go, it should be better. Okay, so that should be 18. All right, we're going to move to number 2. Some of these are really easy, so I will jump around. So again, what's happening to P? P plus 3. Okay, even though that looks a little backwards, we still have addition. This is positive, so we're going to subtract 3. What we do to one side, do to the other. So P is equal to 5. And again, you can check yourself, so I'm going to go over to the side. If I plug in P is equal to 5, P is 5. Another word for an equal sign is the word is. So if I go back to the original equation, 3 plus, I'm substituting in a 5 because this was my P. See, that is 8. So then, of course, you know that the P has to be 5. All right, I'm not going to do number 3 because they look very similar to number 1 and 2. So let's go to number 4. Okay, so what is happening to N? Because this 15 is negative, it's N minus 15. So basically, this 15 is being subtracted from N. And if you can't see that, another way to write it is like this. That's the same thing. Okay, if I was to move that negative 15 here and put the N in the front, that's what it would look like. All right, so again, I don't want to do subtraction. The inverse operation is to add 15. Okay, so N equals, and then of course we're going to subtract that, 15 minus 9. 15 minus 9 is a positive 6. Remember, keep the sign of the bigger number. So this is 6. All right, let's look at number 5. So for this one, we still have that M plus 4. So I'm going to, again, we want to isolate and get the M by itself in one step. So we want to do the inverse to our addition. So let's subtract 4 from the left to the right. M is equal to, and then again, I like to put a little plus so I can see they're both negative. This is negative 16. Okay, that takes care of that one. And then this one I'm not going to do, but you should add 7 here, add 7 here. X is equal to 20. I'm going to jump around. Let's do number 8. If I add 6, P is equal to positive 1. All right, so you should be starting to get the swing of this. Let's do another one. Well, I'm actually going to leave 9 and 10, so work on those. So I've done for you number 1, number 2. I've done number 4, number 5, and number 8. Excuse me. Make sure you do 10 and number 9. So now let's go to, again, like I told you before in class, there's only a couple of ways that they can ask or form these questions, right? So as you can see, for this one, we had to do addition. In this one, we had to do subtraction. That's it in one step. Now let's look at multiplication and division. So for this one, what's happening to X? It's being multiplied by 8. Opposite of multiplication is division. Do it to that side. Do it to the left side. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so now we just have a 1x there. And then negative 104 divided by 8 is negative 13. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. Okay, that's that. And then, let's see. I'm going to leave number 12 because it's very similar. Just divide by 14, divide by 14. I'll do one more for multiplication. Look at this one. 10, that's the coefficient. The coefficient is a number in front of a variable. It's being multiplied to n. 10n, so we want to divide by 10 to both sides. So n is equal to 4. Okay? And now let's look at number 13. What's happening to b? It's being divided by 18. Okay? Opposite of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by 18. You don't have to put the over 1. I like to do that just so people can see. You see, that's why it cancels out. And then over here, I have to multiply by 18. So again, I'm going to write that a little bit better. 18 times negative 6 is equal to b. And so negative 18 times 6 is negative 108. So b equals negative 108. That's it. And you can check yourself. If we go back to the calculator, okay, and we do negative 108 divided by 18, what does that equal to? So I'll just grab my calculator real quick. And if I do negative 108 divided by 18, let's cut it a little bit off the screen. Do you see how that's negative 6? And that's what you had right here, negative 6. So that is true. That means this has to be the right answer, the negative 108. All right, I'm going to the second page. So on the next page, let's look at number 15. Same thing, what's happening to v? It's being divided by 8. Opposite of division is multiplication. I run out of room, so that's why it looks not too great. So I'm going to rewrite this. So we're going to multiply by 8 on that side and times 8 on this side. This will cancel out. b is equal to 16. And that should make sense, right? If we plug 16 in here, 16 divided by 8 is positive 2. So I'm going to leave number 16 for you. Number 17, it is okay, again, to have a negative coefficient on your variable. So we're going to divide by negative 15 to both sides. Okay? So again, remember that you want to bring the negative with that coefficient. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to divide by 15. That's a mistake I see a lot of people make. And 0 divided by a number is always 0. Now I want to, before I go in to do number 18, I want to say this, and this is very important. There will be times, again, this is acceptable. You can do 0 being divided by 15, but you know what you can't do? You can never have a number divided by 0. Let me say that again. If I had something like 7 divided by 0, okay, the answer to this, both of these, is undefined. And we will run into that at some point when we get into talking about slope. But the one thing I want to talk about, again, is 0 has no value. So see, 0 cannot divide into that number any number of times. That's why that's unacceptable and undefined. So if you ever get to a place where someone puts this on a test and they put a 0 in the denominator, the answer is undefined. Okay, there's no solution that does that. It means 0 divided by negative 15, 0 divided by 10, 7, anything in the denominator, that's okay. But 0 has no value, so he can't divide into anyone. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay, number 18. We're going to divide by not 17, negative 17 to both sides. X is equal to. Now we know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So it should be a positive 12. And you can use your calculator. I personally got really good at math by doing a lot of scratch work. So I would have just worked this out doing the division cycle. All right, I'm going to leave number 19. I'm going to leave number 20. So as you look through these, I'm going to just do a couple more. at random, they're pretty straightforward. So again, how about this one? Let's add 8, add 8. But I want you guys to master this week. There will be no more missing anything on integer rules. Make sure that you write the integer rules multiple times and you have them memorized so that we can flow through the skills, okay? So right here, we're going to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. This is -2. Okay, and if I plug it back in, I'm going to put n as -2. So -2 minus 8. Remember how I taught this about integers? Change to a plus, bump back the negative, and then there it is, -10. There are two negatives. Keep it negative and add them together. All right, so it has to be -2. And try and find some other ones. I think they're all pretty straightforward, guys. And I think that some of you watching this video is like, hey, I get it. So let's do this last one. Divide by -11. Divide by -11. X is equal to. So make sure that you go ahead and, again, check the solution key. This is +13. All right, so again, that is one-step equations. I'm always going to try to make these videos short and sweet. We did quite a few of them. If you have any questions, please make sure that you message me and remind. And that is the conclusion of this video.